Hello, everyone. My name is Yuta Jazz, and we are going to do a pick a pile about where do you need to chill, 'cause that's what I'm being guided to do. It is early in the morning, early but fuck in the morning, and you will hear me a little bit more, I don't know, chilled out and quiet, hopefully, maybe. Sometimes they say I'll do that. I don't, but I just don't want to boom too much. I don't want to boom too much. So we're gonna keep it quietly calm, nice and yeah. Hope you didn't see the cards because I definitely did. Um, I thought we were going to only do like 3 piles, but apparently we're going to do 4 today. Okay, so yeah, simple reading, simple sh spiel. What do you need to chill about? Where do you need to chill? I don't know, one of those is gonna be in the title. Same kind of difference, right? Same thing. So we're gonna flippity flip flip the cards now. The Vision Quest for pile number 1, Wind reverse for pile number 2, Drum reverse for 3, and the Medicine Wheel reverse for pile number 4. So pick and choose whichever one you want, whichever one calls you the most, and I will see you in pile number 1. All right, so pile number 1, I want to preface this just because it was like 1:47 on the clock, and that could potentially be um, a number you see a lot, maybe 47, maybe 11:11, something along those lines. You could also be a person that has either had a detour with the twin flame journey or is seeking out a companionship of sorts with a soulmate or a deep like connection of some sort that kind of just feels like really, personal and strong. And besides that, I don't know, that's about it. That's what I got. You feel like you're out on a mission and you kind of got to do something. You might be very headstrong about expressing yourself or achieving something at this point, and you're very much focused on the goal instead of like just ebbing and flowing as life is giving you the means to do. At points, it doesn't feel that way, but sometimes what we don't get is what we need, is how it's coming across. So, the recommendation for you is take life for what it is, not for what you want it to be, because there's a lot of pleasures that you can find in between of like the difficulty in achieving what you want. Your goals aren't going to go anywhere. I feel like you're a person that's going to do a life's work type of thing, and it's going to take a lot of days, a lot of years of your life. It is you becoming a person of like a unique story and a new beginning is on the horizon, right? But like there's going to also be new heights when you reach it. So where are you going to sit at the current present now whenever you're going to have these type of moments? Because sometimes it's going to feel easier and sometimes it's not gonna feel as easy, but either way, you only have yourself to hold. So, what are the things that make it worthwhile? What are the little pleasures that you can learn to enjoy? Where is the simple life or the mundane that you can really seek like solace in? Because life can be exciting, but it's not supposed to be always just like one thing. It will be simple and boring, and at points like enjoyable for the things that it is not yet. It's kind of like that whole point of the journey. All of these things are cliches, but they are hard to master for mostly everyone on the planet. Some people are born with its mastery and understanding, but I feel like you're a person that's really good at setting goals and achieving them and having stuff to go by. And when you don't get those results, it's really hard for you to just sit and enjoy yourself and to find purpose in the mundane and not getting what you want right away, right? And having to enjoy what you have for the little that you have, or for having like, the process keep blowing over instead of you making like an adventure and a mission out of everything. You might have had issues or like how do you call it? Significant experiences with addictions or addictive behaviors or obsessions. It could have been people, places, substances, food. I kind of consider it like a substance at some point, right? Sugar especially, but which apparently is harder to hack. But neither here or there. I just remembered that I heard that somewhere. So yeah, yeah. I feel like I keep wanting to focus to something else and just keep looking for the best thing there, for the best thing yet. And it's an uncomfortable place to be at because there's always going to be something better. Whenever you even get something you want or get to some type of result, you're always going to feel like there's something better out there. Like there's something better to be doing, to be feeling, to be adding to this experience. Like nothing is ever good enough. It's like you need to really figure out the present moment instead of seeking out your results in the destination because once you get there, there's going to be another thing, like as it was said. This you can't get away from. This is internal and present and how you deal and sit with yourself. You might need to figure out what you're running away from. Where are you running to? Why are you doing that? And how do you actually seek out comfort and pleasure within yourself just by doing nothing or doing very simple things? You need to figure out how to get like a simple hobby that you can keep investing into. Do something like, even if you don't want to, is coming across to like doodling, writing, drawing, knitting, sewing, running, exercise of any sort would really be helpful here. Building of any sort, whatever you can, or just try your hand at everything and go through a humongous list. Like, you're a person that really needs something to do. Reading, playing games, um, you need just like in between of anything and everything, you need an activity. I don't know why, but it's just like very much coming across of like you need to zen out with something to do, and you're kind of avoiding some of those things because you're not going to be great at them, or you're not going to become a master, or you're not going to have profit or results of some sort. It's kind of like that's not the fucking point of it. The point of it for you is going to be relaxing and actually zoning out your mind and feeling like you're present, living your life. It's not about just getting results or profit. You can become someone or something great with some having something in your leisurely time that just helps you pass the time by. Otherwise, you kind of get stuck in your head and you're displeased with everything that's occurring. So it's kind of like chill because you have so much more to enjoy. Find 5 things that you love doing. If you can't do 5, start with 3. If you can't do 3, try just doing 1 for the day or for the week and keep exercising like that understanding of like what do you like actually doing. It can be as simple as having a walk, looking at clouds or the stars, drinking coffee, right? Or listening to birds drawing, like whatever it's gonna be, right? Just have it out there on paper and reflect and realize it and then start actually experiencing it and figuring it out like piece by piece that way. Because I feel like you're too tunnel vision and you're getting lost in it and it's kind of creating like anxiety. You might have had some outbreaks like rashes, actually, funnily enough, or emotional breaks and anger quips just where you like lashed out. Interesting. That whole entire pile over there. I mean, yeah, it's literally the energy I'm picking up on, trying to keep on going and getting to the next best thing, to the next result, to the next feeling of like success or profit or like realization. of achievement of some sort. You probably are really great to start things, but you don't have an easy time finishing or ending them. Like creative projects, workloads, deadlines are not your, I mean, depends on the deadline, but mostly I feel like deadlines box you in somehow as well. And something about specific like career management, like, I don't know. You're better at going through positions rather than sticking one out for like multiple years. But either way, you're not like giving yourself presence and time and just like sitting down, and that's taking a toll on you because you can take an emotional reprieve, and you're not taking it because you keep obsessing over the emotional lackluster feeling of like not being satisfied enough. You're a bit of a control freak. That's just what's coming through the cards. I don't judge. Um, I was once one. Yeah, you don't like being left in like the unknown, like where to go next, what to choose. You might have decision. What do you call it? Can't remember the word now. Decision constipation? No, that's not it. Indecisiveness. You have issues with making decisions, either big ones or small ones, or maybe both. I don't know. But you don't like being in the unknown. Well, you like things being set and a road being put upon you forward, and you like going to that result. You're coming from a period of time of not really having a lot of things turn out the way you want them to. You might actually put down some of your achievements while other people build them up, and you want to kind of like get to this result of something grand or great or amazing, but you're not letting something that failed just be what it was. You don't like admitting the point that things didn't work out and just letting them die, or something, at least one thing is still stuck like that. Maybe you've come to terms with many things, but there's one thing you're not facing, you're not accepting that it's done and over and gone. And if you just let it go, I think you would go through some feelings of being sad or hurt or upset that stuff didn't work out the way you wanted it to. But then you'd accept the point that, yeah, it's better this way because now I'm a new person, life is different, and I don't need to put myself down because of it. I don't need to be sad, or keep like trying to run away from that truth that it didn't work out, like it didn't land, I didn't make it work. Maybe you were at the fault of some of it. Maybe it was just a case of you had a lot of betrayal or upheaval, or despite like having so many great and amazing genius ideas, you couldn't fulfill them, you couldn't give them life, you couldn't like fully flesh them out and make them appear or be solid, and it's okay. Life is a journey of many failures and mistakes until you get to something that works out. Some things work out, but most will not. And the point of life is kind of just going through that funnel experience of like, oh, it's, like fumble, fumble, here we go. And this is something that actually works out. There's no complete constant winners. Whoever told or made you feel like there is, that's just because they were willing enough to relax in where they were enough to make it work for them and flesh it out, right? The discomfort, like figure it out and just do something with it, or to fail enough to actually succeed eventually at something that took probably goddamn years, honestly, or a lot of attention and patience, right? Like a lot of persistence. You're a person of perfection. You can make that perfection work for you, but not when you're so strained and you only have it at this peak like resolute that where you will never release anything or never actually show anything or never actually pat yourself on the back or never enjoy life for what it is. Like You will be a starving artist in a different sense where you don't actually sustain yourself to keep creating and being an artist to begin with. Like you're losing your own soul over this process. And honestly, you can support yourself in the point of like just accepting that some things didn't work out, but that pushed you forward to become who you are today, and that your whole life is still in front of you, and you are slowly but surely actually getting away from the thing that you don't like or don't want. It's just currently there's a hidden shortcut or cheat code or proper like action to achieve a sense and a feeling that you're avoiding or running towards when it's right there. You just need to actually look around yourself instead of just being so blindsided and tunnel vision to the future, which that's going to take your whole lifetime. But there's something right now that is just there for you. You just need to deal with yourself and ask and, be prepared to listen and hear yourself out, really, honestly. There's some things that would help you achieve that are very simple, very mundane. They don't cost anything either. Most of it, at least, it seems like is either affordable to you or doesn't cost anything. So I think that's it because I feel like I'll just be repeating myself if I keep going. So I'm gonna leave it here, honestly. Um, yeah, go back to your basics, to your own, roots, to the basics, to what makes stuff like work and make sense and where you had pleasure or meaning or purpose to begin with. And it was just like simple. Look at how you can bring it back because, that feels like there's a key there for you. Besides that, thank you for getting a reading from me. Thank you for stopping on by, or actually maybe even staying. And I wish you the very best in whatever you go through, wherever you are. And yeah, see you in another video or next time or another pile, maybe even. So, see ya. Hello, pile number two. You got the wind reversed. There's a message coming to you. It's just the messenger or where the message is coming from needs to kind of sort some shit out. It's also, it's kind of trying to like get isolated only so you receive it so no one else can snap it like snatch it away or snap it or like I don't know, create disease in the process. Like something has its eyes locked on you, but stuff is being still like removed in terms of like unnecessary obstacles. Because it feels like this thing and you are both really protected and it needs to stay that way. And there's also like other things being worked out. So like the point of it or interaction is pure and purified and everything else in between of it is like prepared as well. And it's kind of done in a way where nothing can interrupt neither you nor it nor the process nor the spaces and places that this is going to evolve. Interesting. This is like a naturally ordained divine right, which is really interesting. Like imagine a fated or a destined thing, I guess is the easiest way I could describe it. Like this is supposed to happen. It's a naturally occurring experience or like potential. Like it has to occur. It has to happen. It's yeah, it's naturally occurring. You're in a better spot than you think you are. Come on. Come on. Cool. Yeah, I don't know why I'm giving a close-up of the card. I don't usually give close-ups of these cards. Unless I see something that, usually I haven't seen before. But I feel like that's important for you. If you saw something, feel free. So the way that's coming across is you don't need to overthink about this happening. You don't need to wonder where it's coming from, what's gonna happen with it. You don't need to do any of it. What you need to do is keep on being you, because something you're doing is working like it's chef kiss. It's working wonders. You might be disturbed by the process behind it at some points or occasionally, or it's like so uncanny, or it's weird, it's out of place, or this is not how you thought it was gonna be, or you thought you were gonna need to be working harder or more, or you thought it was gonna be more of a logical thing, or you had to put like more action behind it. Something you thought about it wasn't quite right or isn't adding up with the present moment and how you're feeling and how you're like actually living your life or expressing yourself or how the cards are landing and how your life is moving and how you are feeling to do as well. Don't force yourself, don't push yourself. Go with the flow because your intuition is very much connected with where you are currently. Like you're going the right way. The stream will take you, or the stream will just appear. I don't think it'll take you. I think you'll go down the stream when the stream is going to be here, but the stream isn't quite here yet. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I was feeling this energy. I just thought maybe we won't need to talk about it because it keeps popping up in multiple readers readings on multiple topics in multiple ways, and everyone's fucking tired of it. Everyone's tired of this devil energy, basically. Everyone's tired of this fucking nonsensical bullshit that is being pulled across like the whole entire planet. I mean, yeah, the top and bottom just clarified the same thing. So, if you're listening, it was the Six of Cups upright and the Page of Pentacles reversed. So, someone from the past trying to withhold new beginnings and opportunities, starting out fresh. Um, it's good that you're keeping yourself reserved as well as looking out for when you need to move or do something because there is this energy that occasionally comes up, and I did feel that discomfort with the wind card that we were reading that sometimes it feels like a bit too much. Like you might get antsy, anxious, nervous, depressed out of nowhere. You might feel itching to go back to previous places, people, actions, behaviors, beliefs. Um, you might even consider like actually re-befriending people that you do not want in your life anymore. It just becomes this like thing where out of nowhere maybe you start feeling sad for people that you realize like, oh shit, I don't want to fucking feel sad for them. And not out of malice. It's just common sense of like that's your thing. That's your life. It doesn't have anything to do with me, type of thing, right? It's because something or someone or multiples are trying to take you off of your game, like disconnect you from your intuition, from your focus, from your understanding, from your steadiness, and from your sovereignty within yourself. This energy is trying to confuse you so you won't know when to go or where to go, or you will mistake the options that will be shown in front of you. And in general, it's kind of like you're being very particular about how you invest into your emotional well-being currently. How do you look after yourself? How do you maintain your well-being? How do you, talk to yourself? How do you, like, what practices maybe do you do? You've been focused on like healthy rituals in the day to day and just maintaining what you have, like actually looking to the future and moving towards it, but also like really dealing with the present moment as you need to, especially with yourself and your emotional well-being is how it's coming across while you're moving towards like new horizons and passions realized. And it's not an easy process. I really don't think it's always easy. I think you're just so good at some things that you do that you don't even realize how good you are at it, especially because in a lot of ways, you're in a bit of a barren land. What the wind card and the 301s are very empty cards. When it comes to like where you're at, what do you have, what are you tending to, what are the results, how do you feel, what is life about? Might be very simple, very boring where you're at currently, either location wise, lifestyle wise, profit results, other stuff like that, right? But you're doing something amazing. You're doing a lot of great, amazing things currently, and the results are going to speak for themselves when the time is going to be right. It's just, you're not quite there yet, obviously, and that's fine too. Um, It's gonna appear when everything's gonna be ready. Keep being mindful about this devil energy that's trying to attach itself to you, because it's either trying to drag you back or hitch a ride onto you. It can't hitch a ride to you, so it's trying to like postpone, postpone, postpone the most it can until it figures out what else it could do potentially. But I don't think that it's gonna work because you're doing really well. Like, they're trying to take you off self-care, trying to take you off like intuition, everything else, but everything's already set. The contracts are signed, the timelines are set in motion. Everything's fine. Like everything's quite perfect. There's nothing you need to do except for keep doing what you're doing because you're doing amazing. Don't look at other people's achievements and wonder why you're not there yet because yours it's kind of like I noticed these ships that are going by, which I never really gave that I never fucking noticed. One, they're in the goddamn sand, which ships don't need to be in the sand, unless that's, excuse my French, some of you might not like what I'm gonna say, but unless it's a piss lake, they're literally stuck in the sand. And if it's not sand, I don't think you want to have that either, right? And they're tiny boats, honestly. Like only one of them has two sails. Compared to what they have, you're gonna get a yacht or something that is as fulfilling as being out on the actual sea, being actually happy, being actually fulfilled. Having something that actually works for you that isn't just temporary or superficial or lackluster or makes you like start looking for the way out to the next best thing. It's actually going to respect your feelings, who you are, and how you express yourself, both in light and shadow. It's going to like really let you understand the choices you have, the choices you made, and how you're living your life from that instead of just like blindsided, lacking, feeling like you want more, having this longing and desire that's never fulfilled. Like you're not gonna have those feelings. You're gonna be very satisfied with what you get. Honestly, this is a bit shorter, but it's still it works. I don't see anything else. At least that's the message you're supposed to hear. So I hope that helps. I hope it, clears your mind up or your feelings and reminds you that you're on the right track because you are, and that everything is fine. And just, keep at it. You'll see your results pretty soon enough. So thank you for spending your time here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And I hope to see you again in another one. Because, yeah, I'll be doing another one. So peace be with you. And yeah. Hello, pile number three. You picked the drum, which is an action card, as we can see why. Also, it's a really interesting card. I always thought this is possibly like, I don't know, some type of freaking snake or lizard, but I guess it's actually looking more like an owl slash bird of some sort, but it still looks like a reptilian at the same time. I don't know, reptile bird of some sort, maybe a fucking dinosaur. I don't know why it's very much coming into mind. Something about, I don't know, guardians, higher mind thinking, being focused and eyes on the prize. So something is protecting something for you as well. Okay. You're doing really well. It's not supposed to be working the way you thought it was supposed to be working. You don't need to work as hard. You don't need to get results the way of the old from where you came from or from where you grew up from. The education you got is false. The world is being reborn, and you're about to actually shine in a new paradigm. Yes, it's a slow-moving shift, but you're still a part of that shift, and it's better if you have the education before everything, the whole world is different, right? Um, rather than later, and you're trying to kind of figure it out as it's now completely shifted and changed. I don't know, that just came in as a channeled thing that's really important for someone. Take it easy, figure out how to have a happier life without doing as much because yeah, it's gonna be super important. Some of you, if not most of you, have already figured out that that's something you need to invest into or are already doing. You're living your life where you're not acting as much or doing as much. Some of you want to shift your life in a way where you've already figured it out or you don't work a job that is demanding as much as your current one. There's a few different different feelings here. You can live a happier life without working so hard, but it is a case of like how do you find yourself doing that in this world? How do you envision it? Because you can figure out the feeling, but it's easier for you when you already have like the practical means to do it or the practice, right? Is there and easy and just you take it and you have it. But it's also like how do you imagine it looks? Would you dream of it? How would you create it if you had to write it up as a system, right? As a means of living in this world we currently have? And don't oversimplify it with the same generic ideas that everyone else would be choosing. This is a very interesting reading. These are really interesting piles. Some of you like feel like very mystic wise, but an example I have with that is, for example, most people would say like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna have like AI take over of everything and make it all easier, right?" But what if that wasn't the case? What if that one option was off the table? How else could we potentially imagine a simpler life where people weren't working as hard, the results were the same, if not better, and you had the choice and chance to not only really shine and express yourself as a unique individual, but you would also be like a spectacle for everyone else to follow themselves and be themselves and find a place in society that made them like matter, that made your unique lifestyle and world and lifestyle choices matter as well. How would you actually like implement it? How can you find a transition to that? What would be the next step from where you are currently? Yeah, because this pile just feels very bogged down by like why is life like this? Why do we all work so hard? Why is making ends meet so difficult? Why is everything like a 9 to 5 and then overtime and then not enough money and I don't get what I need? How can I find happiness in a society that doesn't value simplicity and overall just like happiness, health, and pleasure? Like this isn't this is great. This is not great. This is not great. I shouldn't be working so much just to make ends meet and then be living paycheck to paycheck. It's like make the situation work for you. It's not meant to sound harsh because it is gonna sound harsh when I'm gonna say it, but like figure it out because you're at the front lines of figuring it out for not just yourself but for everyone. If you see an answer to this puzzle, then the answer can start manifesting itself easier within the world so everyone else can experience the ease of it too. But it's kind of like, you know how, for example, you can have 5 jobs in the span of, let's say, 7 years or something like that, right? Maybe even 5 years. And it's like every year your job changed because you kept needing something to be improved within it. And eventually, after those 5 or 7 years, you got to your dream job. The reason it worked out right because is you could have compared every single time what was lacking, what you needed, and you didn't just like roll over and agree or say like this is just life in society and this is how it's always going to be. You kept shifting and changing not only your value and perspective and understanding that you deserve better opportunities and standards, but you also accepted like, okay, so I'm not a person that really likes like let's say manual labor, right? Or I don't want to work 12-hour shifts or I don't want to work shift work to like period to begin with, right? Or I don't like full-time jobs. I don't like this pay. And you kept shifting it, and it was kind of like working out different kinks in different stages of your life each and every year. So you eventually progress to having a better job. So this is kind of the same thing as it's coming across. What is the next best step, and how do you keep figuring it out? And yes, there's a lot of parts to figure out. There's a lot of moving pieces, but if you can believe that you can just take one thing off the list and then you can work towards it, you can start understanding that yes, it's all gonna work in due time, and it's a big puzzle because life is complicated. Your life isn't just a simple like overnight like that's it, right? It's not gonna possibly even just be 1 year, right? But you can actually like start figuring out and seeing answers in ways that not only just like make your life easier but also promote your growth. Um, the way that's coming across as an example is instead of having to commute everywhere with buses, you figure out a way to live in a different part and also have a car, and somehow the working hours add up with you not having shitty traffic and road rage. That's just an example. So whatever counter to that for you would be, the same thing, like just apply it how it fits, because Spirit is really encouraging here to tell you like don't worry about the menial little things. Don't say that this is how it's going to be all the time every day. Don't put society down nor yourself. Don't make anything fit by force. Don't explain it away or give it um, favor. Accept that like life is constantly shifting and changing for your benefit. You don't need to make things work. You don't need to stick around where things don't actually make sense for you or make it easy to live. Like you can go wherever, do whatever, and some of you I feel like you just had like family pop up as an excuse of not doing something that would be making you happy. Look, you ain't living for other people. You're living for yourself. Your family will adapt, and if they don't, then they might be actually potentially part of the problem, which isn't judging anyone. It's just saying like it's not compatible, with your happiness. Your happiness and their happiness may not be compatible, and that just means you need to go after what matters more to you, their happiness or your happiness. That is just the way it sometimes works. And I really do not recommend living for anyone else's happiness except for your own because it's a miserable way down otherwise. So, hmm. Okay, so this is kind of like what's working in the manifesting paradigm and what isn't working in the manifesting paradigm. So you're holding on to how the what everything works just to make ends meet, but also you're kind of reinforcing that that's how it works and that there's no other way. Like, you see how he has the whole city behind him. That's basically his foundation. And see how worried he is if he lets go that everything's gonna crumble, that he's not gonna have even what little he's holding on to. It's kind of like a fake crown as well, because this is supposed to supposedly be like a makeshift king, a prince, someone of noble, like, descent or of affluence of some sort. But they're fucking miserable. They don't have actually anything worthwhile enough if they let go and it fleets away. That's not sustainable, right? That's not a foundation you can work with. You can't live off of that. But it's also of the city for the city. It's not for the individual off of the individual. Oh, yeah, something about this you really don't want to see. I'm just being honest because my third eye just started hurting like a bitch. Like there's an emotional, difficult truth or point to understand with what I just said. It's not just that you don't want to see the truth. You can't feel the how do you call it? You can't feel the my words are escaping me the last few days. You can't feel the actual like emotional acceptance behind it either, basically. You don't want to have a comprehension behind it because you can't go back from that. It's kind of like once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's going to be so much obvious everywhere. You're going to feel it all the time. It's going to hurt a lot more because you're not blindsided to it. You're not ignoring it, right? Um, yeah, there's no like gruesome examples with that. I don't know if I need to say them. I don't think I do. I don't think I do. So we're just gonna move on. The point that's being told by Spirit is like it can end, but you need to come full circle with accepting the truth and then realizing that you need to say a stop to some things. You need to end it. You need to stop procrastinating on the hard lessons of life here because this is life and this is how you evolve. You don't just need to keep surviving and making ends meet. You need to accept that you yourself can start shifting your beliefs and thoughts and understanding and feelings and then applying it to practical real life choices. And it all starts with the mind, with ideas being born here, with the feelings being like supported within yourself, with you having your back, and then starting to move in a different way, starting to check out options, starting to check out other like possibilities, avenues, right? Other ways of living. And giving yourself that choice and chance instead of just being stuck and making excuses. Just because the system isn't built for it doesn't mean there's loopholes in the system that some people are kind of like living by and creating. For example, not every landlord is trying to live off of the backs of the person that they have renting out their spaces. Some landlords understand the market and are really quite compassionate. They don't only build up really good homes for people to rent, but they also have different things that will work for the rentee. Depending on the rentee, sometimes they might even give more leniency, right? But besides that, they give adequate prices so people can live in the areas that they have those apartments that house in and other stuff like that, you know. There's many different things that may work in your favor if you just open up your mind and understand that not everything goes by the system that is created or made to oppress other people, is how it's coming across. Because you really have seen a lot of injustice and how the little guy, the little woman gets like put down and it's not saying that you're wrong per se, but it is saying like you're kind of giving it more power than giving yourself more power. Credits due where credits due, but you're not giving yourself any credit. And the system changes because of people, right? Because of them choosing to live differently, do differently, request, be loud, require, move in specific ways, believe in the better, like better good, or higher values of society, or possibilities or opportunities, you know? There's something you need to discover at like the core truth and point of like we make our own reality. Because if you don't, what what's to say, anyone else should, or that anything is going to ever change or become better? Like you are that common denominator, that one point in the masses that might change the whole flow of the ocean, but it starts with the individual. And when enough individuals kind of flow in the same manner or way, tides change. That's enough, I'm guessing. Top and bottom. Yeah, okay. So the last thing about this message is this is to encourage you to start looking at things differently and to stop berating yourself with negative talk or with limiting beliefs behind either people, society, or occasions and situations. This isn't to put you down or to stress you to move and do and change. This is actually like this reading, this whole entire point of it was to make you stop and reconsider how you're looking at things, what you're saying about them, and how you're choosing to like focus your energy because there's something out of alignment with how you're choosing to focus on your life's potential and your future, honestly. And you can leave that behind. You can let it go. But, it's kind of like where are you gonna look? And it is gonna require you kind of being a little bit suspended in where you are currently, like kind of left to figure it out despite the circumstances. Yeah, you're gonna need to kind of be little upside down in where you are currently right now, but it is going to be for your highest good, and you will have enough to make it through this transition all around. There will be a pause before you start making like proper choices and decisions. It's kind of like what works, what doesn't work. How do you figure this whole thing out to begin with? It's just like an encouragement of like this can work. There's a reason why you're feeling the way you're feeling. So let yourself sit in that energy of Two of Wands, looking to other newer things, and also the Hanged Man being a bit suspended in midair and where you are. So thank you for getting a reading. I hope this helps. I appreciate you spending your time here and, you know, seeing this video. Yeah, I really do. And I hope to see more of you whenever I see more of you, whenever you see more of me. And I'll move on to pile number 4. So, peace. Hello, pile number 4. You got the medicine wheel reversed. Your healing isn't quite over, but it's ending. Things are about to come full circle. You just need to figure out these last bits. It's kind of like if, let's say, you were working at a whole mine of things, right? Like a whole mine shaft, whatever, and there's multiple branches off in that mine shaft. You've already excavated everything, basically, more or less. It's just the last little nuggets that you left in every single different mine branch, and every branch had a different ore, let's say. So all of these things that you were working towards within yourself, your heart, your mind, your life, that you were healing, are ending up and finishing up. But it's also multiple things that you're closing off at the same time. So it's kind of like neatly tied off or like locked away. And I'm actually I have a lot of energy behind this Reading, I have a lot of excitement. I'm very much like giddy, and I'm also very much flared up, and I feel like I can do a lot more than in the previous piles. I feel like everything's so much better than it used to be or than it was. Some of it is kind of like excitement and a little bit of like a scare thrill type of vibe of like I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, but I feel like you might be about to hit this. Some of you might have already started hitting it, but it feels like things just keep popping up and popping up and popping up. If it's yours, right? If you know that these emotions and these things that are popping up are yours, and they're not old things you've already dealt with. Some of them, even if you thought you dealt with them, it's kind of like let them resurface, recycle, and then they'll lay dormant even easier and better. Yeah, it's kind of like let it happen because it's a maturation process that's finally ending, and I don't know. It's reminding me of how puberty is undefined and you don't really know when it's gonna end, right? Some people get super mature by the time they're like 18 and 20. Others take up to 24, 25 to really kind of hit it, right? Some start earlier, some start later. Like it's undefined, and it really depends off of the person, emotionally and intellectually. It's also a separate kind of process at points, right? You might get an easier time, or you might get like stunted along the way because of life circumstances, maybe even genetics, right? Like so much plays into it that it's not a science per se, how it's gonna work out for each individual person. It's a separate living matter that is unique to the individual. You can't speed it up, you can't control it, you can't do shit about it. You just gotta let it do its thing and take its course, and then when it's done, it's done. Voila, you have a person that's supposed to be well-rounded and an adult and kind of have their shit together, right? Not going off of like teenage thrills and unbalanced emotions and thoughts and all the rest besides inexperience and etc. This is kind of the same thing as it's coming across, and also all the details actually feel very much pertinent to the reading as well. Like something you're gonna start doing or the new thing you're about to head into is supposed to have like a whole new you without the same stories or experiences or feelings or happenings. You're supposed to be completely different, you know? You're not supposed to like keep talking about the same stories or feeling the same things or remembering the same people or comparing yourself to your past in a way where it's like the same. You're supposed to keep looking forward to the future as well as living your present as this like matured, different version of you that is ready for the next stage, but is of the next stage too. You've completed the cycle, right? I mean the medicine wheel in general is kind of in the name, isn't it? Cycles going through the entirety of the healing process, coming full circle, finishing the loop, not repeating the same things that you've ended or you've healed from. Another thing is this is the only pile I'm using a different deck for. That's kind of cool too. I feel like you guys have really grown out of your childhood traumas and your childhood hangups and just unresolved feelings and childlike behavior for some of you. Being immature is not going to be a part of who you are anymore. You're like a whole new person, and people will really view you that way as well. They will not talk to you the same way, they will not react the same way to you, and if they will, you just won't be a part of their life because they're not vibing with you. They're the ones that still need to grow up. And it can be even adults. Just saying. Not yet, but it's about to begin. Yeah, all of these cards are really positive and good, but they're talking to the point that something hasn't started or it's not begun yet. It's about to, and you have this understanding or knowing or like a weird feeling. You might be actually having an intuitional hit, because you might be more aware of what's currently being worked through or figured out, like what difficult emotions you're staying in, or having to face, like how you're trying to hold yourself together, how you're trying to be honest or authentic or look after yourself, right? How sometimes it feels like you're a little bit submerged or even drowning in something. I feel like you more so feel like submerged and like it's hard to walk at points rather than drowning. I think you've done enough of that in the past. I think you're more so looking to hoping like, oh, everything's gonna change any day soon now. Everything's gonna transform. I'm about done. I'm about done. I'm about done. Something is becoming aware for you. You're becoming conscious of some type of truth about yourself. You might have actually even recently had really big realizations about yourself, your life, your personality, your identity. Sexual identity just came through. So if that's for you, that's for you. Yeah, but you're really realizing your whole potential and where you shine and what type of like abilities you have or talents or gifts or like where you just want to place your energy and attention. Like what do you want to work towards? You know, what you're good at and what you thought was important but wasn't ever actually your life skill. It never mattered neither to you nor people around you nor where you're gonna find yourself. So you're kind of looking at like this change of like when is it gonna finally happen? When are things finally gonna start? Because you are very much done with feeling the way you're feeling. You don't like the trudgy, murky, dark waters you're currently in, like the emotions, right? Those emotions, you're not a fan of them, but it's like the last thrall or throw or whatever. You'll be fine. It's just you need to let the process finalize. You need to let it end. Because this isn't gonna. You're gonna be happy once all of this starts, but it's not gonna be an easy experience in some ways. You might be moving home. You might need to have some words with some people. You might have some arguments with like close people or loved ones or partners, family, you know. Like it feels like once this begins, there's no stopping it, and it will be a rude awakening to some people and a big announcement of like, look, my life's changing, and whether you like it or not, like it's happening for me. And then so this it's going to affect other people that you're a part of their life or you've been, but you won't be going forward. Um, some people might take it personally. Like this is a big life change and it is happening. It's just the starting point. One, it's not gonna be as simple as you think it is gonna be. It's gonna be great. You're gonna be happy, but you know, you might need to move and have that conversation. Then if you figure out like, fuck, I'm also breaking up with like my partner or something. This is an example. If it doesn't suit you or come to you or is not a part of your reality, don't take it, don't claim it, don't get scared. If you're gonna be moving with your partner, right? Maybe it's gonna upset the family. I don't know. This is just an example, but don't freak out. Like use your intuition and grounding and discernment, right? Be 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 sovereign when getting like readings. But starting point, the beginning and end. That's like exactly what this is talking about. The thing is as I've explained it, like it's not there yet because so many things are gonna need to start changing once you start just going, and you're gonna need to kind of like hold yourself together properly and excitement and compassion and being like supportive towards yourself and looking to the new things even more so and holding that ground. And the thing is, currently you're kind of like touching like the baseline of the bottom of the barrel, like where it might get toughest or the strength that you're gonna need, you're currently experiencing a huge growing aspect of it that you're going to need to implement or experience in some way going forward when you're going to be transforming and getting out of where you are currently. It's like you want to, lift that amount. You're gonna need to work towards lifting that amount, and you're currently at the last stage of lifting so much you didn't think you could before, and now after this like training is going to be done and over with, you're going to be able to go to that contest or to that new different weight that you will be able to lift easier than you thought before. But you're still going to obviously, kind of work up a sweat, and you're going to need to do it so like your own preparation for it too. You're going to need to implement some type of regime or standards, right? You won't be able to just jump to it and like, oh, this is easy, this is fine, I can do it with my one finger. Like, no, you're gonna need to apply everything you've learned up to that point. Maybe you needed to start using certain bands, right, and gloves and whatever for your knees and etc. Not gloves for your knees, I know, but like bands for your knees. Maybe you're gonna need to learn some like a different pose, or maybe you just figured out that this is how you need to hold something within your posture. That's just an example, but yeah, I think it worked as an example. We're gonna move on. Yeah, these guards are really complementing each other. They're basically like complete reversals. She's on a serpent going through the clouds, and then it's the sun out, right? And he's in the water having a dragonfly on top of his hand while the moon's shining down. So it will be a day and night switch. It's going to be very rapid. It's going to be very much quick. Everything's going to shift in a moment's notice, but you're also going to start need to be acting that way right away. I don't think you're going to have too much of a transitionary experience or whatever, because currently you're finishing that transition, but you're gonna need to just like that's it. Like you're different, life's different, everything's different. You gotta move. That's it. Like there's no way of stopping it. There's no way of shifting and changing it. It might be just like, oh, everything starts moving in a certain way, and I need to start taking steps right now, and there's no buffer in between of those steps. Like it's freely moving and occurring, and by the month's end you're like, I'm in a whole different place with a whole bunch of different people. I'm a different person with a different title. What the fuck just happened? Maybe it becomes a process that goes on for half a year or something, but the result is the same. And the thing is, like, all of it only changed in one weekend for you, where it's like I felt like I was in water barely making it through, everything was dark and I didn't understand crap, and now that's it. I'm in the clouds doing something completely different. And everything makes sense. So, yeah, uh, you gotta figure out discomfort and pain before you can ride love, peace, and understanding. Because if you can handle hardship, you'll be able to really cruise through like achievement is how it's coming across. But you can't achieve the success you're desiring without accepting the darkness you're in, because that's the building block. That's the foundation you're gonna jump off of. That's the ledge you're gonna take the leap of faith from. And you gotta trust both sides of the story. You gotta trust both aspects of where you're gonna be and who you're gonna be, lest you want to be like a bit full of yourself or up in your head or like caught up by dreams or not using your best judgment. Because who knows, maybe you're gonna have a bunch of options and you're gonna need to choose the right one for you, right? Maybe you're going to maybe you're gonna have to be careful in like the direction you take your life in going forward from here, like in terms of where you're gonna live or how you're gonna allocate your funds or who are the people you're going to open up to. Like something about where you are is bringing you the tools of clarity to make those decisions. And it's better to appreciate or love where you're at for what you can, even if you're looking to the future, right? Instead of just hoping to have it end and escape it. Because everything is about to start, but it is kind of like keep your cool a little bit longer because you're still cooking and you're about to come out of the oven. Remember where you came from and like give it credit because if you weren't there before, even if it sucked, you wouldn't be where you are currently right now and you wouldn't be who you are, and that's like the real achievement here is like you're that it, you're the it factor, you're the commodity, you're the hot take, the piece, the awesome sauce that actually like came from somewhere really unfavorable. And then so at some points, like the odds were stacked against you, but you still really figured it out. So give yourself credit. Don't just hate on everything. If you're having troubles and struggles with that, like look at it in a different way where it's like you actually made it through it. It actually made you and created you to be who you are. And because of that, you're going to actually be living out whatever you're moving towards next, right? So, um, remember where you came from, what the meaning is behind that, and give yourself credit and support yourself in it instead of just, yeah. Because in a way, you're hating yourself and you shouldn't be hating on yourself because you do have like purpose and talent and what you care for matters to you. Like where you come from inside of yourself, right, is kind of like important. Root chakra work would be very much beneficial. Meditations, crystals, clearing, purging, sending healing energy towards that area in your body, which is the base of your spine. Um, Praying over it. I am or self-affirmations of like whatever your core truth or like meaning and definition of yourself is, like what you identify with your pureness or truth or your character of like behind it all, who you are always. I I keep wanting to end it and stop it, but they keep freaking pulling me to this card, specifically the pants. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna be wearing a different set of pants. Oh, okay. So maybe where you came from and who you thought you were is changing. Okay, yeah, my ears is ringing like mad from my left side, so that's the message that I was missing. What I said still stands, but your whole role and who you identify to be as is changing. Like you're gonna be better suited for something else with the same skills and the same values and core identity that you already have, but you gotta give it credit and where it came from and who you always were born to be and who you are. If you want to make it in the new stage and the new life that you're gonna be living in. So yeah, this transformation is coming in and it's going to really be interesting, kind of a little bit mysterious, even when it starts getting illuminated and starts making sense. So okay, cool. I don't need to keep staring at the guy's fucking pants anymore. Think, fuck. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope it made sense. Um, I found this very fun. I hope to see more of you. Thank you for spending your time here. And yeah, I wish you the very best in whatever you're going through, whatever, you're feeling, how's it going and everything. I wish you peace, and I'll see you next time, hopefully. So, ta-ta!